Welcome to the Blue Collar Wealth Podcast. I'm Bob Brown. I'm a certified financial planner professional and one of the founding partners here at Stonehouse. Today, we're diving into the world of retirement planning. There are several myths and misconceptions out there that can impact our financial decisions, right? Let's separate some fact from fiction and empower you to make informed choices. Myth number one, Social Security is going away. Many Americans worry that Social Security won't be around when they retire. I get it. However, it's not quite as black and white as that, okay? For instance, many of the clients that we work with, they have a fair amount of assets saved for retirement. So for those folks, Social Security really plays a minor role in their overall financial comfort. But for others who have not planned or have not saved much of anything at all, Social Security plays a crucial role in their lives. And because it's such a major source of income for so many registered voters, it has political clout. So why is that important? Very few politicians have the political willpower to make major reforms to such a program. While most of us focus on what goes into Social Security by the way of our paychecks, it is important to understand that the government has some control levers on the payout side as well. And what I mean by that is, although it seems unsustainable today, by making some subtle changes and distinct changes to Social Security on the payout side, basically keep it intact but stretching it further than you think. And a great example of that is bumping the normal retirement age from age 65 to 67, which has been happening for years and is now complete. And my point here is that it's far more willingness for them to tweak and stretch Social Security than there is the desire to make it go away. Now, the reality is if you're only counting on Social Security for an income stream in your retirement, then you're already behind the eight ball. Again, most of the clients we work with expect it to be there. Where they work really hard, though, to make sure that it's a small piece of their future income stream, and they do so by saving and investing on their own. Myth two is investing is only for the wealthy. All right, that's kind of like saying adulthood is only for grown-ups. I mean, no one starts out as an adult, right? As a grown-up. I mean, at least I don't think that's out there in the universe right now. Maybe no, who knows in these days. But now while there will be some cases of people who win money in the lottery or inherit money from a wealthy family member, the vast majority of us, if we create wealth, it's created by paying attention and being disciplined. One of my favorite things that I hear in our office, and we hear it quite a bit actually, is I never thought I would ever make this much money or have this much money. Now, a lot of these folks had money put in by their company or they started doing it out of their own paychecks. And in some cases, both, which was awesome. But what they did was they made a commitment and then they had the discipline to continue that paycheck after paycheck after paycheck. And the real smart ones even increased those amounts over time as their budget gave them the flexibility to do so. Now, as they approach retirement, they are far ahead of their peers who played the short game that money, as quickly as it came in, it went out the door. The reality is time is the real power when it comes to saving. Those people I mentioned had discipline and they made their contributions over and over again for many years. But when you look at this chart, you can see a complete reversal as time ticks on. In the early years, the only money in your account is really just your contributions. The interest is tiny. But as the decades go by, the years go by, the contributions shrink. They shrink away compared to the interest that begins to accumulate, which is why when someone asks me, hey, when's the best time to invest? I usually answer with today. Now, what you invest that in is another story. If you're not comfortable or you're unsure of how to proceed, that's a great reason to call a financial planner. Myth three, I hear risk-free investments are the best choice. I don't hear it a lot, but when people say that, a lot of people like me who advocate for good, balanced, long-term investing often say that you can tuck your money under your mattress, but you're only fooling yourself because inflation will slowly erode the value of that money. So, although it seems like a safe place, it carries its own element of risk, right? Typically, a risk-free asset is one that offers a certain future return while with virtually no chance of loss. For instance, the U.S. Treasury bonds, notes, and bills are considered risk-free because they're backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. Okay, so do we blindly assume that our government has everything under control and that we will always be able to pay people back? Well, this chart might give some folks reason to doubt that. But does that mean our U.S. treasuries are no longer secure? Make no mistake about it. There are a lot of other factors that go into our budget, our deficit, our country's overall financial health. The reality, those U.S. treasuries continue to be the standard for what is called risk-free assets. But investing money into risk-free assets has that one issue, inflation. A smart, savvy investor needs to recognize that the secret to great investing is not about avoiding risk. It's all about managing risk. Once you can recognize that every place you can put your money has some element of risk to it, it becomes easier to manage and be smart about diversification and offsetting risks so you can really add a punch to your long-term returns. Okay, myth number 4, retirement means no more taxes. Oh, how I wish this one were true. It would make our job a heck of a lot easier, but sadly, that's not the case. It's not true, but it's also not totally false, right? While most of us are used to paying income taxes while we're working, you need to also be aware that there are many shapes and sizes when it comes to the word tax. It comes at you from all angles, right? So throughout your entire life, income tax, sales tax, estate tax, inheritance tax, capital gains, real estate, state, federal, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of taxes. It doesn't just magically go away when you decide to retire. The reality is a lot of circumstances will oftentimes keep your tax liability lower than it was compared to your working years. So yes, retirement most often means less taxes, but very seldom does it mean no taxes. Again, working with an advisor is a really great place to look over these options and find ways to limit your tax liability as much as possible. And myth number 5, healthcare costs are fully covered by Medicare. I could spend an hour on this topic alone, but I won't, not in this video. But it's a very important issue for so many of you as you get closer to age 65, which is the age you enroll into Medicare. At age 65, you'll enroll, but it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's quite the contrary. There are quite a few options you choose from, and most of your decision-making will be driven by your own health at that moment in time. You'll most likely still have to pay a monthly premium, but that's just for the basic coverage. For others who are looking for additional coverages and prescriptions, etc., those extras come with more costs. As much as I would love to wave a magic wand and make all those costs disappear, it's not going to happen. The reality is that the costs are real and they can be strapping for some of you, but I have a silver lining. There are some great people out there who can advise you when it's time for you to enroll in Medicare, right? They can give you great advice. And the best part is that in most cases, the consultation with them is at no charge to you. Whether you sign up completely on your own through the internet or go through these types of professionals, it's the same cost to you. That's a good deal. So why not ask a pro for a little bit of help sorting through the mountains of mailers and stacks of paperwork on your dining room table that you're staring at endlessly as you're approaching 65. I'll actually include a helpful link of one such professional, John Ebersole, who came on our podcast a while back and talked about the changes happening in Medicare. And you can see what a difference experience can make when you listen to someone like John. As always, I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you're someone who's trying to get serious and smart about your savings and your planning, don't listen to everyone you hear and don't take everything as gospel. There are so many sources out there. Do your best to find the good ones. We hope that you found us to be one of those good ones on your short list, and we hope that you come back again and again on our site because, after all, our goal is to educate you and build up your confidence. And we hope this video did both, and we'll see you on the next one.